relationships. So I just finished overviewing that the emotional brain has got the two types of emotions, the survival emotions and the social emotions. We're going to now look at feelings. There are two different types of emotional feelings. The first set is interpersonal or sort of contextual, and they're really just experienced relative to another individual, and they make me or help me make sense of my interpersonal context. And remember, this is happening in the emotional brain. These are feelings that we have that we can learn to put words to, but ultimately they're being felt in the emotional brain. And they seem to be sort of some of the emotional brain's highest cognitive capacities at kind of perceiving complex relationships in simple ways. So going back to the interpersonal world, examples of interpersonal feelings are things like feeling ashamed, feeling abandoned, feeling rejected, feeling embarrassed or abused or used, or feeling like a failure. Do you see what's in common with all of those words? They describe my relationship with either a person or the world. I feel ashamed. That has the sense of someone's looking at me or my group is looking at me. If I've been abandoned, well, that speaks to there was someone out there that let me down when I really needed them. They were supposed to be looking after me and they weren't there, and so I feel abandoned. I can feel rejected. That's fairly simple. I ask someone on a date, they say no, and I get all crushed out and I feel rejected. But again, it needs another person there. The other type of emotion or emotional feeling that is important, and again, I'm making this distinction as if they're two very clear categories. They're a little bit fuzzy, but clinically I found them to be very useful distinctions to make. So the second type of emotional feeling is called what I call core feelings. And these are experienced relative sort of to yourself. You can kind of close your eyes and feel them independent of other people. So these are words like alone and helpless and hopeless, worthless. Now, alone and helpless, hopeless, you can see where maybe other people would be involved, but you can also walk around feeling alone, feeling helpless without reference to anybody else in the world. It's just something that you carry around inside. And I'll go through, in more detail what those are. One of the important relationships to understand is that we've now got the emotions, we've got core feelings, we've got interpersonal feelings. So going from the outside world, somebody's talking to me, I have an interpersonal feeling, and it's going to cause an emotional reaction indirectly by going through a core feeling. Okay, so interpersonal feelings like rejected don't cause me to cry. I have to feel rejected, activate a core feeling, and then I'll cry. And the core feelings are usually pretty unique to the individual, but fairly constant over time, often depending on a person's conditioned history. And I refer to that as the accidental conditioned history, or ACH, and we're going to come back to that concept quite a bit.